Okay, so we are now going to discuss on how are we going to update and delete records. Okay, so in our previous video, we have here view. Okay, and as I've said, um, the procedure and how are we going to update records are almost the same. So first is we're going to display the record details. Then we're going to let the user to update each of the items here. Okay, so whereas in our view, as of now, we could not update these because these are just actually labels. Okay, so we need to have an input. Instead that we are going to have labels, we are going to use the input elements of or for the user to edit each of the items here. So we're going to have text for each of these, then a select element or a drop down button for the group data. Okay, so so first is we are going to have the form element of React Bootstrap. Okay, and here is we are going to add a group ID. Okay, contact group ID. Why? Because the drop down button or the select element is going to return the ID and not the name of the group. Okay, so you could see it later on. Okay, so next is we are going to have here, as we are going to get the contact details, so we are going to set the set contact group ID, okay, with the contact group. Okay, so it is not group ID, it is because in our database, okay, okay, so you could see here the contact ID is no, the group ID is we have actually contact underscore group. Okay, so that is why we have here contact underscore group. Okay, so next is we are going to we are going to copy our modal. By the way, so that we could identify this is our view modal. So next I'm going to create another modal for my update. Okay, so we have separate modal element for each of the operations as of now. But anyway, we could in our upcoming video we could actually just use a single modal for these different operations. But as of now, we're just going to have separate modal for the view and the update. Okay, so since this is now our update, so I'm just going to have here, I'm going to modify. So update, I'm just going to have update contact. Okay, then we are going to change our, instead that we're going to have our view modal, set view modal, I'm just going to have here update. Then I'm going to modify also with update. Okay, show update modal. By the way, I guess I still have another one here. Show update. Then on top, we are going to initialize. Okay, show, instead of view again, so we have the update modal. Okay, update, then okay, I'm just going to copy this one here. Show update modal form, set show again update then true. Still, I'm going to get the contact details so that I could get all of the details here and display them on our input elements. Okay? So, but then we are still going to call this function from the click event for the pen. Okay? So, as you can see, we have show, view, then form. Here we're going to have show, then update model form. Okay, save. Okay, we're going to try. Okay, for example, Marco, click. So we are now opening here our update. Okay, so but then here for the view, so we have here for the view, then for the pen, so we have now our update. Okay, so next is we are going to change, instead that we are still going to have here. Okay, instead that I'm going to have just a label. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to have form that what's this? Form that control. Then we have our type. It's equal to text. Oops. Value. We have there contact name and on chains then set contact names a bit here, then that target that value. Okay, oops. Okay, we have the contact name and so on. Okay, so I'm going to try it first. So save, then Bongbong Marcos. So I could now change, example, Bongbong Marcos Jr. Okay, so I'm just going to copy each of the controls here. Copy, then for the address. So instead of trying to have the contact name, so we're going to have contact address, then set contact address, then for the phone, paste, it is contact phone, then set contact phone. Okay, we have the email. So delete, then we have contact email, then set contact email. Then for the group, okay, so I'm just going to change it first to is this one. Okay, later on we're going to change this one to contact group and set contact group. Okay. Okay, save. Marco, click. So Marco, so it's now editable. So for the Medina numbers, oops, there's an error for the phone. Then here, editable and so on. Okay, so we have an error for the phone. Set contact phone, wrong spelling. Phone. Okay. Set contact phone. Save. Okay, for the phone, so I could edit it now. Okay, so all of our fields are now editable. Okay, so the only problem here actually is we have for our group. Why? It is because we must have to select for the group. So for example, the values here should be the numbers. Okay, the ID. Okay, so that is why we are not going to use here an input or a text element. Okay, so for the group, what are we going to use? We are going to use here actually a select element. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this one here. So we are going to use a form that select. Okay, then we have. I am going to close. No. Form that select close because the options will be in between. But before that, we are going to have first. We have the value is equal to contact that contact. Okay, so we have the contact email. So we have here the contact ID. No. Contact group ID. Okay, the contact group ID and on chains E. Okay, on chains we're going to have 1 2 1 2. Okay. Set contact group ID. Then we have the target that value. Okay, so next is we're going to set then our the options. Okay, supposedly we're going to have here option, then option 1, or let us say the classmate, and so on. Okay, so I'm just going to show you it first, like this one here. Then we have the family and what else? Crush. Save. Okay, so it is now a select statement, a select element. But take note that the content or the value that is going to be displayed here must be coming from our database. Okay, so as of now, what I did is just actually have the 3 values here, but actually they must be coming from the groups table. Okay, actually we have already done this one in our previous video, particularly into our add contacts. Okay, so we have here our get groups. So I'm just going to copy my get groups, okay, from the add contact page. Then I'm going to have it on top. So we have here our get contacts. Then I'm going to have here, I'm just going to have it here my get groups. Okay, so same, then we must have a groups list. Okay, so I'm going to have here I'm just going to copy my contacts list because I'm going to create a groups list. Set groups list. Okay, so this is an array. Then I'm going to call get groups. Okay, so get groups in my use effect. Okay, so get groups, it is because it is going to get the groups. Okay, then it is going to update the groups list. Okay, so once the groups list has been updated, so that's the time that we could then display okay, here in our options we could then display those items from our groups list. Okay, so we have here a groups list dot map, then group index, although we could not use our index now. Okay, then we are going to return a GSX of options. Okay, option then value is equal to group dot group ID. Okay, and our key we could still use our ID. It is because group ID is actually this unique. Okay, so that's for our option. Then we're going to have for the display, so we're going to display group that group name. Okay, I think that's it. Let's try. Okay, so we have Bongbong Marcos, so click. So we have here is Bongbong, a classmate. I'm going to click on Arnel family. As you can see, automatically it is selected as a family. Okay, so Marco Aranton, so we have here friend. Okay, Raisel, we have here crush, and Steve Jobs is we have family. So as you can see, whatever is the current group of this contact is going to be automatically selected into our select element because of the value here. Okay, that's the default value of this column. Okay, or this element for the select element. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do then is just actually to save. Okay, so as of now we only have one button. Okay, so we're going to have another button, okay, for save. Variant is we're going to have primary, then on click. Okay, so we are going to call, starting to have update. Okay, I'm going to have it this one first. Okay. Okay, so I'm here now our update. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change any of the names here. Then as I'm going to click on update, it is going to update, okay, the database. But as of now, I'm just actually closing. Take note, I'm just closing here my what's this model. Okay, okay, first I'm going to have my PHP. Okay, so as of now, so we have only the add contact, get contacts, actually all, and get contact details. So what we are lacking here is we need to have, I'm just going to have update contact, then we have the data. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the add contact, then I'm going to have it in my update contact. Okay, because the only difference here is we have, instead of trying to insert, so we're going to have update TBL contacts. Then we are not going to modify our user ID. So we're just going to have set contact name is equal to contact name. Contact phone is equal to contact phone. Actually, it is. Then contact email is equal to contact email. Then the address is equal to address. Then for the group, contact group is equal to contact group ID. Okay. Then do not forget where contact ID is equal to the contact ID. Okay, so instead that we're going to have, by the way, we could still follow actually the name, email. Okay, I'm just going to follow. I'm just going to follow this. Okay, it should be contact name, then contact phone, and so on. Okay, so we have instead the contact ID. Oh wait. Okay, contact name, then contact phone, email, address, contact group ID. Okay, and the contact ID. Okay, so I'm just going to follow my convention here. Let's see. Contact email, contact address, and contact group ID. Okay, so these will be the variables coming from the JS. Okay, so after that, if row count, again 0 and 1, then we're going to have update contact. So here we're going to have case update contact. So we're going to echo then contact update contact with the JSON. Save. Okay, from the other side, I'm going to try it first with PHP. Okay, so here, operation would be update contact. Okay, so I have a lot. Okay, contact ID, contact name. So contact ID is 1. Contact name, I'm going to change okay, my contact ID number 1 is we have Steve Jobs. Okay, so I'm going to change the Steve Jobs with Steve Jobs Jr. Okay, then comma contact phone 1 2 3 4 5 6 5 4 3 2 1 contact email Steve Jr. at apple.com, comma, then contact address USA, then contact group ID. So I'm going to have 2. Okay, hopefully everything has been entered. Okay, let us try. Send. Okay, so 1. So therefore it is successful. Okay, so let us try. Steve Jr. Okay, so you've been Steve Jr. and so on. Okay, so we have successfully updated our record using now our API. So what's lacking here is we have here when we are going to update or click on the save or update button, so we should update. Okay, I'm just going to have it here. Okay, const update contact, then contact ID and close. Okay, so because I'm going to edit or update or call the APIs so that we could update our database. Okay. What? Okay, I'm just going to copy this one here. Add contact. Oh no. From my add contact, I'm going to copy this one here. Submit. Okay. Then update contact, so therefore this must be an async. Okay, for the JSON data, so we have, okay, I'm just going to change each of these. So we have contact name, contact email, contact phone, address, contact group ID, and the contact ID. Okay, so this contact ID here, then we have the contact name, okay. So again, so to avoid confusion, these variables here are the variables defined into our API. Okay, we have these. Okay, then these values here are actually our values defined into our state variables. Okay, so next is, instead that we're going to add, we're going to have our update contact JSON, same, await. Okay, we're going to use a post. Okay, you have successfully updated your contact. Update failed. Okay, so update contact. So we are going to call the update contact from our model. So we have our model here. Save. Okay. So update contact. Then we are going to have wait. So we need to have a reference for our current ID. Okay. I think we have contact ID. Okay. So save. Contact name, phone. Oh, we don't have a public reference for our contact ID. Supposedly we're going to have the contact ID. We have this contact ID here, but this contact ID is coming from here. It is coming from this one here. Okay, so we're going to have a reference for the current contact. Okay, because again, so take note, we don't have yet a reference for the contact ID. So if ever when we are going to get the contact details, we must have to have a contact ID here. Okay, so I have to create another variable here for the contact ID. Set contact ID. Okay, so that we would know who is the current record being updated or viewed. So we have here set contact ID, then we have here the contact ID. Okay, so since contact ID is now public, so therefore there's no need for the contact ID here. Okay, and also with okay, this one. Okay, let's try. Okay, so we have Steve Jobs Jr. So I'm going to edit Steve Jobs. So I'm going to return it back to the Steve Jobs. Then US of A. Then instead of I'm going to have friends, I'm going to have Steve Jobs as my colleague. So hopefully there's no error. So click on update. So update failed. So there's an error. Okay. Console. Okay, so I'm going to have I'm going to display console.log response.data. Okay, so save. Then Junior update. Hey, update contact. Here we go again. Update contact. Then we have here update contact. Okay, so it's not here because we have already tried with Postman. So it is possible it is here. Okay, wait. Console.log JSON data. Okay, so have it here. Contact ID is undefined. Okay, why is it undefined? Set contact ID. I guess we have the culprit is we have the capital I. Okay, it is small letter I. So let's try. So I'm going to edit small letter I, save, contact ID. Okay, let's try again. I'm going to have Bongbong Marcos, so I'm going to change it to Junior, then Ilocos Norte, and Bongbong is my colleague. Okay, update. Okay, so you have successfully updated your contact. Okay, but still we have still senior. So as I'm going to refresh, so we have here now. Oh, very slow. Okay, it is now junior. Okay, so we only lock here. So after I updated my contact, so I could then refresh. Okay, I'm just going to have it here. So how are we going to refresh our display? So we have the function get contacts. Okay, I'm going to try it again. So I'll have Steve Jobs. Okay, I'm going to edit Steve Jobs. I'm going to change it to senior, then US of A, then Steve Jobs is my colleague. Okay, then update. Okay, so as you can see, Steve Jobs Senior, then US of A, and as I'm going to view, Steve Jobs is now my colleague. Okay. So again, Arnel Robignol. So instead of we're going to have Burox, so we're going to have Purok 4, and then Bukidnon. Family, we're going to have friends. Update. Successfully updated. So we have here now updated Arnel Robignol. Okay, so again, basically the view and the update are the same, almost the same. Okay, so the only difference is that instead in view is we're just going to view, but in update is we could change any of this data here by using the form elements. Okay. Then we have of course, we have update contact. Okay. So that's all for this video, and I'll see you again on the next one.